And here we are in example 2. We're still having conversion of binary to base 10, and we are to convert 1101.110 in base 2 to base 10. Okay, so if you look at this, it is a very special binary because we have it in decimal. This first part here is what we call the whole number part, and this is the decimal part. This is the base 2. Okay, so we take solution. Okay, so we start with the whole number part, and then we get to the fraction part. They are in base 2. So everything here in the whole number part, we are going to multiply with 2, and we're going to raise to power. How many digits do we have here? Okay, let me take that off. I didn't write anything now. We have a 1 digit, second digit, third digit, fourth digit. So we're going to start with the power of 3 down to 0. Okay, let's begin. And that will give us 1 times the base was what? Base 2. So times 2 raised to power what? The first part is going to be power 3. Okay, so you have raised to power 3, and then I'm going to do this. Right, so plus, let's get to the next digit, and that is what? That is still 1. Okay, and then we do the same thing. 1 times 2 raised to power what? Raised to power 2. Okay, and then do it for the next one, plus the next one is, the next digit is what? Next digit is 0. Okay, so we have 0 times what? Times 2, correct? Times 2. Oh, that's big. Raised to power what? Raised to power 1. Okay, so we bring down our plus sign again. Then we do for the last digit for the whole number part. The last digit there is what? The last digit here is 1. So we're going to do for that, and that will be, okay, 1 times 2 raised to power what? Raised to power 0. Okay, if you observe, we are done with the whole number part. And since we are done with the whole number part, we will now get to the decimal part. The decimal part will have negative power, and it's going to begin with the highest negative power. After 0, the highest negative power there will be minus 1. So we pick for this, and if we pick for it, that will be 1. Okay, let's bring down our plus sign. Let's bring down our plus sign. Can we see the same blue color for our plus sign so that everything will be distinct? Okay, let's do this. Fine. Now it gets to decimal part now. So we start with the first digit. There is 1. So we have 1 0 times 2. The power, highest power here will be minus 1. So we start with minus 1. Correct. Now get to a plus again. Okay, and the next number is what? Let's see here. The next number is 1. So we come down and then multiply with 2. So we have 1 times 2. The power will be what this time around? We have minus 1, so the power will be minus 2. Okay, so the last digit is what? 0. Okay, so we're gonna have 0 before then. Let's bring down our plus. Our plus here. Okay, and having our 0, that will be 0 times 2. What's the power? If we had minus 2, so here it's going to be minus 3. All right, fine. I guess we're making progress, are we not? Yes, we are. We're making progress. So the next thing we're going to do right now will be for us to solve for each and every one here. And okay, so 2 raised to power 2 is what? 2 raised to power 2 is 4. Then raised to another power, making it power 3 will give us what? That will give us 8. So 1 times 8 is what? 1 times 8 is 8. So let's have our 8 there. Bring down our plus sign as usual. Okay, now the next, we get to the next one. 2 raised to power 2 is what? 2 raised to power 2 is 4. Now 1 times 4 will give us 4, right? Give us 4. Okay, now we will get to the next one, and that is 0 times 2 raised to power 1, and 2 raised to power 1 will give us what? 2, and 0 times 2 will give us what? 0, because any number multiplied by 0 will give you 0. Alright, so we get to the last digit for the whole number part, and that is 1 times 2 raised to power 0. Now any number raised to power 0 is 1. Any number raised to power 0 is 1. 2 raised to power 0 will be 1. 1 million raised to power 0 is 1. Any number raised to power 0 is 1. So if this place is 1, then 1 times 1 will give us what? 1 times 1 will give us 1. Okay, now we are going to get to our decimal part. Getting to our decimal part, this is what we are going to do. You're going to you need to pay attention, because you are going to introduce some things here. Okay, I want to bring down this one here first, so you don't confuse yourself, and then I want to bring down my multiplication sign. All right. Okay, now I want to take away this one, this negative 1 here. Yes, I want to take away this negative 1. To take away the negative 1, simple, I'm just going to turn it to become a fraction, and that will be 1 all over. Yes, immediately I say 1 all over, the negative sign goes. The negative sign goes. Then I can now write 2 raised to power 1. Can I write that one there? Alright, okay, that's better. So I've been able to take away the negative 1 here. Alright, so we proceed, still working on the fraction part. Alright, so we are going to work with this one now, and that will be 1 times 2. Let's have a 1 first. Oh, that's big. Okay, it's fine. Now I don't like that my multiplication sign, so let me get it right. Let's do some. All right, please. Okay, that's better. We want to take away our minus. We want to take away the minus first. So taking away the minus, that will give us 1. Yes, so when we do this, 1 over, the minus is gone. Then we can now bring our 2 down, then the power 2 here. Alright, okay, so we go to the next one, bring down our plus. Then we're going to do for the last that's 0 times 2 raised to power minus 3. Same thing, we're going to do the same thing. So we have our 0 here, and then a multiplication sign. Alright, so if you're going to take away the negative, taking away the negative, we have 1 over, then we're going to have here 2, then the power 3. Alright, I guess we are making progress. Now let's add up this other part now, the whole number part. Can we add it up together? Let's do it. 8 plus 4 will give us what? 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 0 is still 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So we can have, we're gonna have a 13 here. Alright, we're gonna have a 13 here. So we're done with the part that is whole number part, and we can bring down a plus sign so that we can solve for the decimal part. Right, so for the decimal part, we will now, one is here, and it's assumed that this has a denominator as over 1. Any whole number has a denominator, and that denominator is 1. So that's why we have over 1 here, you can see. So now we're going to multiply the numerator with the numerator, and that is 1 times 1. And 1 times 1 here will give us what? That will give us 1. Okay, I will only use my red biro. Okay, so 1 times 1 is going to give us 1. Still not having it. All right, a few minutes. Good. That will give us 1. And then all over. The denominator is 1 here, and then another denominator is 1 here. So that will give us 1 times 2. Remember, the power here in this is power 1. So 2 raised to power 1 is what? Is 2. And then 1 times 2 will give us 2. We're done with that. And then we're going to bring down our plus sign. Alright, after that, we now go for this. Same thing. The numerator 1 times 1 here is what? Is 1. Okay, and 2 raised to power 2 is what? Is 4. That will give us all over 4. Alright, we're making progress. Bring down a plus sign here. Okay, and then we solve for the last. That is 0 times 1 all over 2 raised to power 3. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So what we're having here is 0. Okay, so we are making progress. We're now going to add them together. But before we add them together, we need to we have the whole number part. Let's bring it down here. We have the whole number part. Alright, and then we solve for the fraction part. Solving for the fraction part, we need to find the LCM of 2 and 4. The LCM of 2 and 4. Okay, so we have something like this, and the LCM of 2 and 4 is what? LCM of 2 and 4 is, okay, so maybe it's 4. Let's not waste time. No, you know it. It's 4. Alright, now 2 here comes into 4 how many times? That's 2 times. Now that 2 times 1, that is the numerator here, is what? That will give us 2 times 1 is what? Is 2. Alright, and then let's have our plus sign. Good. And then 4 comes into this other 4 how many times? 1 time. And 1 times this 1 is what? 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, don't forget that we have our 0 here, so we can still bring it down. Alright. Okay, for space sake, I want us to create a space here that we can continue. Right, I guess that space is okay for us, so we can have room to continue. Alright, so we have our 13 here, right? Our 13 here. Good. And we had our plus. You can still bring down our plus here. Good. Okay, and what do we have next? We have a fraction part that we solve 2 plus 2 plus 1 all over 4, and then we had this part here, the 0 plus 0. Can you remember? Good. Right, so I would want us to see bring down 13 here, and then I want us to solve for this fraction part. Okay, if we are solving the fraction part, I want us to add it up. 2 plus 1, that will give us 3, then making it to be 3 over 4, that will give us 3 over 4, and then plus 0, it will still be the same thing. Okay, so now I want us to solve for this, please. I want us to solve for this. Let's solve for this by simply dividing it here. Okay, let's divide it here, so we can just add it up to 13. How about that? Okay, that'll be fine. Alright, so I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change it to this. Let's use a division sign to be fine, so you can remember, right? Okay, so 4 will be outside here, and then we have our 3 here. Alright, that's not square root. It's not square root. This is division sign. Then we say 4 divide 3 how many times? Cannot. That will be 0. So we write 0 here. Fix a point. Add 0 to this. It becomes 30. And say 4 comes into 30 how many times? That is 7 times. 7, because this is 7. Alright, 7. Right, now this 4 times 7 will give us for 28. Give us 28. Alright, we can now divide, right? Or subtract rather. You can subtract. Subtracting it. 30 minus 28, that will be 2. Can proceed. Add another 0 to it. Good. Now 4 into this 20. So how many times? It's 5 times. Now multiply this 5 times this 4 will give us what? That will give us 20. Will give us 20. We can subtract it again, and if we subtract it, okay, that will give us 0. So here is our answer. Here is our answer, and we can read it. The answer there is 0 point. This is point. This is point. Right, 0.75. Okay, so if we have there at 0.75, remember our 13 is here. 13 is here. Okay, so we can now say plus. Alright, was Z, that answer again, that is 0.75. And if we add this up, our answer here will be okay, and this. Alright, our answer here will be 13 point 75. That will be the answer if we add this. Alright, so if you want to write it out, we can write it out here so we can all see it. I'm trying to conserve my space, but the question here was for us to change 1101.110 base 2 to base 10, so we can write down that 101.110 base 2 is equal to this, our answer here. Is equal to this, our answer here. Alright, it's equal to what's the answer? Let me use another bright color for our answer. Okay, now Let me get something better. Let's try this. We go to 13.7 13.75. Base what? Base 10. Don't forget it, because you're changing to this base 10. Alright. Ooh, my 10 is wonderful. So that's the answer. It's very simple. Very simple. What we did was for us to expand it, and then we expanded according to their power. This had two parts, the whole number part and the fraction part. When we got to the fraction part, we started with the highest power after 0, that's -1, and then we exhausted the last digit, and after that we brought down the answer. 2 raised to the power 3 is 8. Now 8 times 1 gave us still 8. 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. 4 times 1, we had 4, and here we had 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. 2 times 0, we had 0. Bring down our plus sign, remember, and then 2 raised to the power 0, we said any number raised to the power 0 is 1. Now 1 times 1, we had here 1. Okay, we brought our addition sign again. Then we got to our decimal part. Yes, this is where our decimal part began. Now 1 times 2, this time around is going to be the next power after 0, the highest. The next power after 0, the least number after 0. The least number after 0. Okay, that was -1, and then continued, and we had it for the last digit 0 times 2 raised to the power -3. We now brought them out, we solved them out. Here we had 8, 4, 0. Here we had 1. Then for us to take away this subtraction negative sign, we did something by saying 1. Introduce a numerator to it, turn it to a fraction. Turning it to a fraction will make it to be 1 all over, then the power remain, but the negative sign is gone. So if we added 2 raised to the power 1, the same thing here. To take away this negative sign, we introduce a numerator, and that was 2 raised to the power 2. Same thing here. For us to take away this negative sign, we also introduced a numerator here, and that was 1 all over 2 raised to the power 3. Good. We now added up this whole number part by saying 8 plus 4, that's 12, plus 0 plus 1, that gave us 13. Remember? And we brought down our addition sign. We now came to this. We multiplied the numerator. 1 times 1, that is 1, and then 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. Then 1 times 2 equals 2. We brought down our addition sign. 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 1 all over 4. Then here, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. That's why we had this 0. Remember, we brought down our 13 here, and then we solve for our fraction by doing what? By finding the LCM of 2 and 4. The LCM of 2 and 4 is what we have here as 4. We now say 2 comes into 4 how many times? 2 times. 2 times 1 gave us this 2. Remember, brought down our additional sign. 4 here comes into 4 how many times? 1 time. 1 times 1. 1 times 1 gave us this 1. We brought down our 0. Because of space, we came here, we wrote down the same thing, and then this time around we added it up by saying 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 gave us rather 2. 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 gave us 3 all over the fraction, and there was no need for us to proceed anymore. Alright, so and then we had our answer. We wrote it out here. Okay, that'll be all. You do your classwork and we continue. Bye.